The next thing we're going to do is start our coil pot. So you're going to take your pot, the name should be on the bottom, and I usually will kind of smooth out the edge of my coil, and then I'm going to start wrapping my coil around my bowl. You do not want the coil to be inset from the bowl, so you don't want to see the base on that side, and you also don't want it so close that it's like falling off the edge over here. You want it right on top. Take my coil and really lightly press in. I'm going to go around, and then right here I'm going to smooth that down so it's like a little ramp for the clay to go up. So if I look at that from the side, you can see how it would just gradually go up. And then around. The coil you don't need to slip and score because you'll actually be smoothing it out on the inside, which will keep it all together. So if we look at our coil pot, if I look at the side of it, you can see the base, and then you can see two coils. This side I haven't gotten to yet, so you can see the base in one coil. So once you're done with one of the coils, you need to smooth out the inside so that the coils are still attached, or so they are attached. So if I look at the inside, you can see the separate coils. So what I'm going to do, super important, is to have my hand back here. If your hand is not here, there's nothing to support your bowl. So when you push the clay down, the bowl will push out and your bowl will be ruined. So you have to always have your hand behind supporting. Some people use their middle or index finger and some people use their thumb. It just kind of depends on preference. If you're having a smaller bowl, you'll probably want to do one of your fingers because it'll be harder to get your thumb in there. So I'm going to start with my hand back here supporting, and I'm just going to push my clay down. So if you look at that, you can see how I smooth through those two coils down to the bottom. It's important that you go all the way down onto the base. If you smooth it and then just stop right there, the whole top of it will detach eventually. Just keep going around. Once I have them connected like that, then I'm going to smooth them out with my thumb. Okay, so the next step is to continue adding coils to your pot. If your pot just ends like that, you can either add your coil like that and smooth that out so it's one piece, or you can do like we did at the beginning and smooth that down so it's like a little ramp. All right, now I'm going to show you what we're going to do after you have your required number of coils. For the base of your pot, if you chose a wider pot, you only have to have your base plus 3 coils. So base, 1, 2, 3 coils. If you're doing a smaller pot, you need to have your base plus 5 coils minimum before you start anything else. Okay, so now I have my 3 coils. There are a lot of different options for things that we can add to here. I'm going to show you a few of them, and I'm going to show you how I made them. The first one is going to be this little flower type thing. You can take these and do all kinds of different extra designs with them. And they're pretty easy to make. All I did was take a ball of clay, and I rolled it up, and then I flattened it, both sides. And then I took the blunt side of this tool, I made a hole in the center, and then I took the pointy side and I made like the individual petals. This kind of reminds me of a starfish. Okay, then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the pointy side and just push that in. And you can add different designs. There are a ton of different ways you can do these. You can also do the flattened pieces and just make spirals or other line designs, so be creative with those. You can also take coils and use those to make some different designs. So you can take this coil and flatten the end and then just start rolling it up. Make a spiral. Okay, so once I have a few of these and I'm ready to go, To attach it, I need to slip and score it. So the way we're going to do that, we've already talked about, but we're going to roughen up the surface on both sides. And then take a drop of water and put it on both sides. And then I'm going to push that down onto there and wiggle it around a little bit. So you can see now that that's attached to there. Okay, you can go ahead and continue putting these on. When you do that though, you also need to secure them at some point with a coil. I'm going to make another coil. If you're having a hard time rolling the coils out with the mat, you can roll them out on the table. Just make sure you wash your table well. It's kind of a bumpy one, but we're going to go with it. Okay, so I have this on here, and I'm going to go ahead and use a coil to secure that on there. So I'm going on the side, up and over the spiral, and then down. So that uses it to secure it. You can also do some funky things with the coils and make designs with those. I'm just having that one curve a little bit and then smoothing out the end. That looks like that. I do need to flatten the inside, otherwise those things will not stay put. I'm going to take the clay and just kind of push it down. Make sure your hand is in the back supporting it. If your hand is not in the back, it will not stay. A lot of the times we end up with little holes when we do funky things like that. So you can see there's a little hole right here and a little hole right there. You can either leave those like that, or if you want your project to work for water or other liquids, take a little piece of clay and just kind of fill in the inside where that hole is. You'll be able to see on the inside that that's filled, but on the other side, it'll be very subtle. Okay, so then you just continue on adding designs and adding coils until you're satisfied.